NBA, meaning like the league and league office, they will hate LeBron for this if he gets it off the ground, and they'll do anything to take him down.
Um, I would tend to agree with you on that. I think that just watching how sports is now, it's very like the owners have a lot of power. They have they can depending on who they support, they can also use the government to take out their opponents.
Potentially, yeah,
So
for sure.
I definitely
Although, I mean, the counter spin on this could be that their project would emphasize minority and specifically black ownership over traditional white ownership, which that might be the battle that they're looking to fight. And even then, if you integrate, you will have accomplished something if you're integrating with black ownership. LeBron James and Mav Carter might be trying to start their own basketball league.
Who's Mav Carter?
He's LeBron's little bitch boy. Or Rich Paul, one of those clowns.
What about it? They're starting their
They're
own
starting
league?
a new league, apparently, or trying to start a new league.
I mean, that's like the Canadian Football League type of thing. Like, it just never. It's
Not
just
the
not gonna take off.
USFL.
That one too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not gonna take
I mean, the
off.
Canadian League's carved out its own niche in Canada.
Okay, maybe I mean the USFL with the Herschel Walker.
Yeah, the Herschel Walker.
Yeah,
and all
that
Yeah.
garbage. It's
Yeah.
just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it may be a good G League type thing, but I don't see where they're
the,
gonna be
the,
able
the
to.
leverage point that LeBron and Rich Paul have working is that they do have access to a lot of high-end talent.
They do.
Rich Paul represents a ton of people.
That is correct.
If they could persuade a bunch of top guys to go to an alternative league, if the money's right, then you're kind of almost like an ABA NBA thing, where you can.
Well, that used to be the ABA NBA.
Yeah, where you
right?
can kind of have this alternative league if the money's right and whatever. That's the thing. But if you look at like the ABA and NBA, you look at the AFL and the NFL, the end has always been merger.
Right.
It hasn't ever worked where you have two coexisting leagues or even one league that definitively defeats the other. There's always been a merger or integration at some point.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like that basketball has matured enough that this is not really like a viable product. I don't see where it's really a viable thing. And I also think the funny thing is the NBA, meaning like the league and league office, they will hate LeBron for this if he gets it off the ground. And they'll do anything to take him down.
I would tend to agree with you on that. I think that just watching how sports is now, it's very like the owners have a lot of power. They have they can depending on who they support, they can also use the government to take out their opponents.
Potentially, yeah.
So
for sure.
I definitely
although I mean the counter spin on this could be that their project would emphasize minority and specifically black ownership over traditional white ownership, which that might be the battle that they're looking to fight. And even then, if you integrate, you will have accomplished something if you're integrating with black ownership.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, that's a good approach or a good strategy. I just don't know that players, especially, I just don't see players taking that risk.
Yeah.
When you can go to the NBA, you can make $100 million or whatever. I mean, it's going to take some time for it to get to that point.
Yeah.
I just don't know that.
Well, interesting. I mean, you're battling a clock. It would take time to develop like the interest and stability to attract the better players, but there's also kind of this ticking clock of like getting the thing off the ground in some meaningful way
Right.
at all. And so you can't go 2-3 years with just kind of low tier players
Right.
populating the league.
Right.
You have to have some early quick wins of major talents, and then the major talent side, it's like you know the NBA is the best league in the world. It's a legacy league. You succeed in that league, you compare yourselves to the all time greats.
Right.
And, some guys are like have an eye toward that. And that's what part of their goal is. And then again, the financial part is the other piece. Would you rapidly be able to have enough funds to essentially
get those
outbid
marquee. Yeah, exactly.
the NBA on that? That's you're talking a whole lot of money. And again, what is the value of a long-term contract to a league that may not survive?
Exactly.
Like you have virtual certainty that if you sign a 5-year deal,
Exactly.
the NBA
with the
ain't
NBA.
going anywhere.
Exactly.
If you're signing a 5-year deal with the startup,
Yeah.
they might not be there in 2.
Right. So
So-
what I think it's a great idea. I mean,
But is it a great idea?
I think it's good because it is it's just the NBA, right? They don't have any other. There isn't any other competition, right?
Not direct competition
I mean,
in the
I
States.
thought that a lot of, and I was gonna just say because I thought that there's a lot of competition, at least in the European leagues.
Well, I was going to say, yeah. I mean, as far there's not direct competition in the U.S. The G League is clearly like a feeder league to the NBA.
Right.
But when you talk about like the bigger clubs in Europe, there's a degree of competition, but they're not competing at the highest level for players. Like the best players in Europe, still the goal is to get here.
To come here, right?
Your Jokic, your Luka,
Right.
your Giannis. It's still to come here. Interesting thing, and Luka recently made a comment that he does have a desire to return to Real Madrid at some point in his career. That's not
Luka
something.
never played. Not
Look-
Real Madrid. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Luka played
Isn't
for
that-
Real Madrid.
Isn't that soccer?
They have a basketball club.
Oh, what the hell are you looking at me? I didn't know that.
Well,
What the shit?
all right.
I just thought he played for Lithuania or something like that.
Slovenia, but no.
Yeah. Okay.
No, Real Madrid, Barcelona, most of the big soccer clubs
They
have
have
basketball as well. Yeah,
Okay.
And,
I don't
and-
watch.
and high level basketball. But so yeah, he had expressed a desire to go in the end of his career back to Real Madrid. I don't know if you'll see if that like would Jokic or some of these bigger European stars go back and finish their career in European clubs, and then there is a low key number of players that had achieved some modicum of success in the NBA, not necessarily at the star level, who have kind of felt like they're better off in Europe where they get to kind of play and do more what they want to do on the court
Right.
than to be like a role player on an NBA team that just has a very confined, restricted role. And so there is guys that have chosen that path. It'll be interesting if you can get signed tail end career guys to go back and while they're still somewhat good, play productively in that setting. But that's your real competition. But I don't know like that I don't know that the NBA needs direct competition. I don't know what purpose that serves other than potentially as a kind of a bridgehead to black ownership, in a concept of
force
a
that, yeah.
merger.
Yeah.
So beyond that, I don't really know the purpose. So I can't call it a great idea.